Okay, once again, we are all welcome to today's discussion. Yes, today we are coming to tackle everything we have to know about treasury notes and bonds. Yes, I'm sure for treasury bill is very common to us. Some of us, treasury notes and bonds, today will be the first time you are even hearing of it. Yes, so my advice for everyone every time is if you are trying to invest, you have to know the source of the investment, the source of the business we're investing in, the source of the office we're investing in. So whatever you are investing in, you have to try to know the source. So here, the source of treasury notes and bonds is from the government. So as we are in Ghana, it's from government of Ghana. So government of Ghana is the source of treasury notes and bonds. So it's the same as the treasury bill as we discussed last week. So treasury notes and bonds, all they are all forms of monies we contribute or we invest in government activities. So we lend monies to the government. So the major source of it, like it's all coming from treasury. For the treasury notes, treasury bill, treasury bonds, they are all from the government. So the government of Ghana is responsible for it. So let's look at the risk aspect. For this, we can also talk about it being, if not risk-free, the risk is very minimal. If not risk-free, the risk is very minimal. Yes, because it's government of Ghana who is responsible for it, and as government of Ghana is responsible for it, there is no way government of Ghana will run away with our money. So the risk is something we can all swallow. The risk is very cool. Then let's look at the duration of each of them. Yeah, if you recall, last week we made mention that treasury bill has a duration of 91 days, half a year, and a year. So there is no way you can opt for treasury bill more than a year. So now if you want to invest in government activities for more than a year, what do you have to go in for? So we have the treasury note. The treasury note is for more than a year. That's 2 years to 10 years. So if I have money and I want to invest, this quantum of money, I'm not using it from now to maybe the next 7 years or the next 8 years. The best investment to go in for is the government treasury note. So you can just go and dip your money there, come and sit somewhere and wait for your next 7 years, then you go for your money. Then let's also look at the treasury bonds. So the treasury bond, as the treasury note ends after 10 years, the treasury bonds also ends it starts from after 10 years, so 11 years to 30 years. Yes, so I have some money and I want to invest into my children's education. So maybe I just gave birth. Then I realize in the next 15, 16, 17 years, my ward will be in the senior high school. And I want him to maybe have the education at US or something. So what I have to do is I have to start investing now. So the money I have now, I can go and dip it into the treasury bonds for the next 20 years, next 17 years, next 30 years. So that one is up to 30 years. Yes, someone wants to know if there is any investment after 30 years. For the government treasuries, there is none for now. For the government treasuries, there is none for now. So we know of the treasury bill, which is for a year, treasury note, which is more than a year to 10 years. Then we have treasury bonds, which is more than 10 years to 30 years. So now let's do a bit of the rates. That's another significant aspect because everyone who is investing would like to know the rates, and the rate is going to influence his or her decision. Yeah, so for the rates, yes, I can confidently tell you that treasury bonds have better rates than treasury notes, and treasury notes also have better rates than treasury bill. As we discussed, the reason being that we have to consider the number of years we are investing in. So the number of years also have a major stake as to the rate you are getting home. But all rates are quoted per annum. So all the rates are for a year. So after if you tell 20% per annum, the 20% for investing 10,000 Ghana cedis. It means that the first year you are getting 20 over 100 times 10,000 Ghana cedis as your interest. So you add it to your principal, then you move on to the following year too as well. So that's all about the rate. So you just have to have it in mind that if you need better rates, then you have to go in for a longer duration. So you have to go in for the Treasury bonds. Then for this part, I would like to advise people who want to marry maybe in the next 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Yes, people who want to marry, because people were in my DM, they want to know if they want to marry in the next 7 years, next 5 years, but they have money now, what do they do? Yes, so if you want to marry in the next 7 years, next 5 years, next 8 years, you have to go in for the Treasury notes, because the Treasury notes will give you a very good returns in the next 7 years, in the next 5 years, or in the next 4 years, so that you can use this for your marriage, your PhD you are thinking of, or your masters and all those things. Then another advice also goes to my dear people who has just given birth or who are planning to give birth at the end of the year or next year. Yes, so we have to plan for our kids' education. So in planning for our kids' education, we can start a small savings now. So with the small savings we are having now, when immediately you give birth to the person, you can opt for Treasury bond, their bond for 20 years. So then the next 20 years, when he or she is ready for the first degree or the second degree, you'll be able to have that money to cater for it. So it all depends on your plan. But my only advice is you have to save, but after saving, when you get certain quantity of money, you have to try and invest the money. So all the investments should also be guided by the timelines we will need the money, and there should be a purpose for the investment we are embarking on. Can you take back your Treasury notes before the end of the agreed period of investment? Yes, you can. You can opt for your money. The only penalty is that the interest rate that was agreed between you and the government will be, you're not going to get the same interest rate. Yes, so if the interest rate was 20% and you want to, for the 7 years or the 8 years you were investing, and after 5 years or after 4 years you want your money back, you are not going to get the full 20% on it. You are going to get, let's say, 18% or 17.5%, but you are going to get your money. You are going to get your full principal. It's the interest that will reduce a bit. Okay, so as I was saying, for every investment we try to engage ourselves in, we have to be mindful of the duration. So we have to know the duration we want to invest in, the duration we want. So if you want within 3 months, 6 months, or a year, you just go in for the Treasury bill. If you want more than 1 year, that's 2 years to 10 years, you go for the Treasury notes. And if you want more than 10 years, that's 11 years to 30 years, you go for the Treasury bonds. And we should know that the Treasury bonds will always have the best interest rates, followed by the Treasury notes, then the Treasury bill. Even with the Treasury bill, we realized last week that the full year Treasury bill rate is better than the half year, and the half year is also better than the 3 months, that's the 91 days. So thank you very much for joining this session. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Osei-Sarkodie. Always follow our Facebook page and follow us on Instagram. Thank you. After watching this, you can also drop your comments. The recorded version will be uploaded on all our platforms, so you can just drop your comments, you can drop your questions, and we are going to answer you. Thank you very much. Have a good evening. Bye bye.